Hello and welcome to today's lesson. We're going to learn how to work with pseudo-elements. Here you can see a page with a heading and two paragraphs with identical content. Making the first letter of a paragraph larger, as you can see here, is a frequently used effect. I'll show you how to use that effect. I'll start by specifying a selector for the P element inside the style definition. Next, I'll add a colon and type first letter. This part of the selector is called a pseudo-element. Thanks to the pseudo-element, only the first letter of the paragraph will be affected. I'll add the font size property and set the value to 30 pixels. After refreshing the page, we see that the first letter of each paragraph has become much larger than the rest of the text. From time to time, we may want to format only the first line of a text, as we can see over here. We have to keep in mind that the width of a line depends on the resolution of the display device. I'll set the width of the second paragraph to 640 pixels and refresh the page. This is how the paragraph would look on a cell phone with 640 pixels wide display. Let me show you how to target the first line regardless of display resolution. Again, I'll specify the P selector inside the style element. Next, I'll add the first line pseudo-element. I'd like the first lines to always appear in boldface. To do that, I'll add the font weight property and set its value to bold. After refreshing the page, we see that the first line is always in bold, even when the widths of the paragraphs differ. We'll demonstrate the next two pseudo-elements in a new document. Notice the three names of American cities. I'd like to insert a picture of the American flag next to each one of them. Instead of creating three IMG elements, I can use the before pseudo-element, which can be used for generating content. Inside the style definition section, I'll type H2, a colon, and before. The content itself is generated by the content property. In our case, the content is an image, so I'll type URL, brackets, and quotation marks. All I have to do now is type the name of the image file between the quotation marks. After refreshing the page in the browser, we see that each H2 heading is now preceded with the picture of the flag, which was generated by the before pseudo-element. And how do we generate content after the end of an element? Again, I'll type the H2 selector and add the after pseudo-element. After each heading, I'd like to add the word USA enclosed in brackets. I'll start by adding the content property. To generate text, all I have to do is type quotation marks and the desired text in between them. After refreshing the page, we can see that the name of each city is followed by USA. Keep in mind that the before and after pseudo-elements are not fully supported by some versions of older browsers. I look forward to seeing you at the next lesson.